All right, well, timing is perfect. I can't believe it. That's wonderful. So welcome to the Christian Mystics moment together. And part of this meeting is also the meditation for the 40-day intensive Awaken to the Light Within. So we're combining that in the first half hour. And so using today some text of Meister Eckhart, and he's for us today like an example of the one who's trying to express in a whole lot of sermons, trying to express the inexpressible, because that's a bit of the theme today, the inexpressible. How are you going to express that? What is not you're not able to put it in words. Now what? How are you going to express it? So, Meister Eckhart, we used the text, some text of the Sermon 33. And I don't know if you read some of it, of him. I sent it out to you yesterday, to the participants here. But I can imagine that you didn't do that yet, and which is okay. No pressure, no problem, no worries. So this is an meditative moment that we're in the first half hour of this meeting, and it is not just a meditation. It's really like looking at what Meister Eckhart is saying with what words and what is he trying to express, and then using that in the meditation for yourself in what you have received of that. So that's a bit different than you might be used to, but yeah, that's all right. And so for the rest, I love to hear your input here. That's the second part of the class, of the seminar. So I love to hear your input, because I discovered for myself, if I read Meister Eckhart, it's great to read one of the sermons. But the other part that's great is to use the search function in the PDF, and still letting someone in. It's nice to use the search function in the PDF and check out one of the keywords that comes to mind for you and see what it brings, how he writes about it or expressing that. So that's really fun. I love to do that personally. And so it's not really reading one sermon and then using that. No, that was not it for me in the preparation. So I used Sermon 33, and that is like I called it a pure light contemplation, because he's referring to the pure light. And that, of course, was so great to use in this moment that we're together for the 40 days awakening to the light within, because this light, that's what we're talking about. That's what we want to experience. That's what we want to recognize in ourselves. And so Meister Eckhart is expressing that too. He lived, by the way, in the 13th century, and so it's not too long ago, if you want. And he was part of a group of mystics too. Like in Germany, there was a development of mystics, and he was one of them. I think they were called the Friends of God, and Gottsfreunden in German. And it was like almost like a preparation for the Protestant, revolution that took place later on. But the free thinking that they allowed themselves, the free, going beyond the books, how they were given to them by the Catholic Church, or so they developed something for themselves. They had experiences of something that was not in the books, that was not directly available for most of the people at that time. So that's great to look at it with that perspective, but I also see like the similarity in fact with we come together around Joel Goldsmith, the Course in Miracles, or who knows what your background is. You know, we come together from a certain kind of brotherhood, or so that is not any different than what happened at that time in 1250. Like, people came together with the same way of thinking. They were friends together. They could actually listen to one another and express themselves in their search, in their discoveries, in their the way they say experience something that had nothing to do with their lives as human beings. So that's great to look at it that way. It brings it all very close, and that was one of the purposes of coming together in this Christian Mystics, to see how much it has to do with you, your experience, your relationship with truth, your experience of truth, of light, and of extension. So that's how it all falls so beautifully together, even in the 40 days Awakening to the Light Within intensive. It's like, that's also a beautiful part that comes together in that. We're discovering, literally taking off covers in order to come in touch with the pure light that lives within. And so Meister Eckhart is trying to express it with words, the inexpressible, and we're going to use that here in the contemplation. So I call this the Pure Light Contemplation. And so I use this. So I'm showing you this just to have some kind of support. Or so I did not copy this like directly from the document. I took things out of it. So if you want to read the full story, so to speak, then you should read Sermon 33 from that book. So, but here I took some things out because of it's like not so clear what he means with that, and then I'd rather take it out and not not bring in any confusion about it, basically. So here's the Pure Light Contemplation. I'll share whatever comes up to share with you in expressing what he's trying to express and what you can hear in it. So this has everything to do with the resurrection, with the awakening, say the full awakening of you that is taking place in you. So it starts with these words. See, and then it is like, it's a contemplative prayer, a contemplative meditation. That means you can close your eyes, you can let this all come to you, to affect you, to come into a deep experience of it, and listen with like your whole being to it, because it is literally bringing you in a certain place. So I would use it for that. But if you want to read and you want to know where it all comes from, that's fine too, of course. I cannot determine how that is for you. So if you are then raised up with Christ, like if you're in an experience of your Christhood, you seek the things above, like he's trying to put this in words, the 3 things that will happen when you are lifted in your consciousness. You will seek for the things above and savor the things above. And you will distaste the things that are on the earth. So it's like that will happen when you start to come into experiences of Christ, of your light within, of feeling the touch upon your shoulder, so to speak, having an experience that is not of this world, but definitely is happening to you. And that can be subtle, that can be like a thunder. It can be very subtle too, and either way it is beautiful, because something is moving and shifting in you, just like that could happen now very well. So seek the things above, savor the things above, like your dedication becomes to experiencing peace and love and light that is in you. You seek for the things above the human frame of reference. My soul is undivided, yet it is entire in each member. My soul is undivided, it's complete and whole, in communication with my creator, my source. My soul is undivided and yet is entire in each member. There's not a place where it is not. Where my eye sees, my ear does not hear. Where my ears hear, my eye does not see. And what I see and hear physically comes into me by spirit. My eye perceives color through light, but it is not present to the soul by reason of defect. All that the outward senses perceive, if the spirit is to take it in, must come from above, from the angel who imprints it in the upper part of the soul. And this is great expression. It's like, where my eye sees, my ear does not hear. Where my ear hears, my eye does not see. So this is like a school example of trying to express the inexpressible. How can you locate anything that is everywhere? Yeah, you can use the word everywhere. Well, that's great. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it's expressing the unexpressible, but it brings you to a place where you can actually experience that. And he's writing from his experience, otherwise he would not be able to do it like this. So that is beautiful in its expression. So my eyes perceives color through light, but it is not present to the soul by reason of defect. All that the outward senses perceive, if the spirit is to take it in, must come from above, from the angel who imprints it in the upper part of the soul. Like beyond everything I see, there is something for me to discover that is beyond my it is beyond my senses. It will come to me by spirit, like it will be shown to me what it really represents by spirit. I seek the things above, I savor the things above, and you will distaste the things that are on the earth. So here it says, Christ says, I am a door, in John 10. The first outburst and the first effusion, God runs out into his fusion, into his Son, who flows back into the Father. This is also so great. It's like, well, don't try to hear it like the circularity of it. It's like basically expressing that when you are in an experience of your love for your Father, you experience the oneness with the Father. There's no place where you are not connected. It's like the Father and the Son become indistinguishable. It's like what is one is one. It has no any kind of limitation, any kind of gradient, or no, it's indistinguishable. It's absolutely one. And that is your experience. That is your soul's experience. It can be completely in your awareness to have this flow through you. Christ says, I am a door. the first outburst and the first effusion, God runs out into his fusion, into his Son, who flows back into the Father. Where Christ is sitting on the right hand of his Father. Well, here's some beautiful words that will clear that for you. Where Christ is sitting on the right hand of his Father. Where is Christ sitting? He is sitting nowhere. Whoever seeks him anywhere will not find him. His least part is everywhere, his highest nowhere. The masters say sitting denotes rest and implies timelessness. What turns and changes has no rest. So what turns and changes has no rest. It has nothing to do with the peace of God. It is man-made, it is temporal, it has no rest, it will change. So where Christ is sitting on the right hand of his Father, Christ is sitting nowhere. And whoever seeks him anywhere will not find him. His least part is everywhere and his highest nowhere. And it implies the rest that we're talking about in the sitting. The sitting denotes and implies an idea of timelessness. That will come back to us in one of the last statements. A master says it is impossible that in the first eruption, when God burst forth, any corporeal thing should receive it. It must be either pure light or pure spirit. Heaven is above time and the cause of time. So this is also a beautiful mystical expression here. Like a master says, it is impossible that in the first eruption, when God bursts forth, any corporeal thing should receive it. Like as a natural man, you will not be able to receive it. But here in our awakening to the light within, it is given us to experience something of that timelessness. Because we recognize ourselves not anymore as natural man, as man of earth, but the God man. So and then that has a possibility to come to us like as light and pure spirit. Heaven is above time and the cause of time. Heaven is above time and the cause of time. Like we're talking about the changeless, that what has nothing to do with time, that what is timeless. So our souls are far above, hidden in God. And so I say not only above time, but hidden in God. Is that the meaning of heaven? Everything corporeal is a product, an accident, and a descent. Our souls are far above that which is physical, natural, man, and all that. It is far above it, and still completely a whole part of you, hidden in God. The hidden in God part is too, it's like it's indistinguishable. It is one with God. It is whole and perfect, just the way it was created. You will not be able to distinguish between God and your soul. And so I say not only above time, but hidden in God. Is that the meaning of heaven? Everything corporeal is a product, an accident and a descent. Okay, so King David says, 1,000 years are in God's sight as a day that is past. For all the future and the past are there in one now. So in the Psalms, in Psalm 89, King David says, 1,000 years are in God's sight as a day that is past. Wow, this is so great. This is really beautiful. 1,000 years are in God's sight as a day that is past. It doesn't say that 1,000 years are as one day for God. No, it says 1,000 years are just as much over as yesterday was. It's like 1,000 years are in God's sight as a day that is past, that is gone, that is over. 1,000 years is as much over as is the past, as is that day that was yesterday. That is all over. For all the future and the past are there in one now. Like everything is going on right here, right now. There's nothing else going on. That we, this is his prayer, that we may attain this now. So help us God. Amen. So this is a bit of the rhythm of this contemplation. You can feel that. It's like there's a rhythm connected to it. Seek the thing above, savor the things above. It's like our souls are far above, hidden in God, one with God. It's like in a beautiful exchange of oneness, if you want. Christ is sitting on the right hand of God, but at the same time he's not locatable. He's everywhere. And his highest is in nowhere. It is all everywhere. It's like it's timeless. It will not change. It is not changeable. It's unchangeable. It is whole and perfect, and it's happening right now. So this is great. So let's get into the moment with this. So I don't know what I have to share for that. We will see. But first we will have some quiet to give this a chance to tell us what it is. So don't forget to breathe and relax. And release whatever you can. So can this light and communication be experienced directly? Yes. Yes. Can you experience this as a natural man? No, of course not. But here's your practice. Like the light and the peace and joy that are in you, you can experience that, of course. It is given you in this moment. So by breathing this in, just like you do through your nose, it's like you breathe in the light that is available, that is given you. So this has nothing to do with what happened yesterday or 1,000 years ago. What's been given here is happening right here and right now. So the Christ in you is actually telling you, I am the door, I am the door. So enter through me. Light and peace and joy are abiding in you. There is no such thing as separation from God, from everything that is. So if you then are raised up in Christ, seek the things above. Savor the things above, and you will distaste the things that are on the earth. It will just not feel well anymore, that way that you were used to. So my soul is undivided. I am a door, where Christ is sitting on the right hand of his Father. Heaven is above time and the cause of time. Our souls are far above, hidden in God. Peace and light are here in this moment. It has nothing to do with time. So interesting to listen to this. This is also very old. Hildegard von Bingen, a little less old, I think. But anyway, so it's a beautiful song, a beautiful prayer song. And so in the Christian mystics, as we continue in this class, like I said, we want to give you the opportunity to share what you have discovered, because one of the purposes of the say Christian mystics moment is that we discover how much it has to do with ourselves, with me, with my experience of light and love, and say awakening to the light within. And so I'm curious what you have to share, in the sense of I love to join with what you share, what your discovery is of that. And the other part of that is too, is like you start, when you come to this meeting or to this gathering, you will discover how much of a brotherhood there actually is, like we actually are recognizing each other of this brotherhood, if you want. Like it's, what is time, you know, in this recognition of timelessness, we finally start to join with one another in a celebration, or a homecoming, if you want, of the mystics, of the ones that recognize themselves as the light that lives in them. So in that sense, it's so close, and so the timelessness of it is you can feel it, and you can read it, and you can express it, and that's why this is an opportunity for to come to the celebration of this, of the discovery of the brotherhood that you belong to. Like, wow, look at that. We're the friends of God, or the teachers of God, or however you want to call it, the students of God. You know, it's like it's a recognition of that, and very useful in the sense of there's no need to defend or look for differences. No, it's in the recognition of our oneness, all that dissolves, and you get a totally different experience of yourself. So many of us here are having these experiences. So I'm really happy to hear that, and to say, even put more energy into that, to give even more to that. So that's the opportunity. So thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this contemplation. That was also part of the 40 Days Awakening to the Light Within intensive. So I lost count actually. I don't know if it's the 5th day or the 6th. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, we continue. I know that we have to go, say, to the 21st of December. That will be our last day. That's what I know. So that's all I need to know. All right. So thank you so much for being here. And we continue in class with the seminar. Thank you.